Welcome to Biography with Plutarch, where we embark on a captivating journey through the lives of extraordinary individuals who have shaped the course of human history. Today, we delve into the fascinating life of Saint Nicholas, a man whose legacy has captivated the hearts and minds of people around the world for centuries. Born in the ancient city of Patara, in the province of Lycia, during the tumultuous 3rd century AD, Saint Nicholas would grow to become one of the most revered figures in Christian history, renowned for his unwavering piety, generosity, and kindness. As we step into the early life of Saint Nicholas, we find ourselves transported to a world marked by the complexities of the late Roman Empire. The year was around 270 AD, a time when the empire struggled to maintain its vast territories, grappling with internal conflicts, corruption, and external pressures. The once mighty empire, which had stretched from the misty shores of Britain to the scorching deserts of Egypt, was now beginning to show signs of wear and tear. Despite these challenges, Nicholas's family, belonging to a wealthy and devout Christian lineage, provided him with a stable and nurturing environment that would play a pivotal role in shaping his future. The city of Patara, where Nicholas was born, was a thriving metropolis, nestled between the majestic Taurus Mountains and the crystal-clear waters of the Mediterranean Sea. The city's strategic location made it an important hub for trade and commerce, with merchants from all over the ancient world flocking to its bustling markets. The air was thick with the smells of exotic spices, fresh bread, and olives, while the sound of haggling merchants and the clanging of hammers on metal filled the air. It was in this vibrant and cosmopolitan city that Nicholas's parents, Theophanes and Nonna, raised their young son, instilling in him the values of compassion, humility, and generosity from an early age. Nicholas's parents were exemplary Christians, known for their deep faith and philanthropic endeavors. His father, Theophanes, was a wealthy merchant who had made his fortune through trade, but he was also a man of great piety who believed in using his wealth to help those in need. Nonna, Nicholas's mother, was a woman of remarkable kindness and compassion, who spent her days caring for the poor, the sick, and the marginalized. Their influence on young Nicholas was profound, shaping his character and instilling in him a sense of purpose that would guide him throughout his life. The stories of Nicholas's childhood are replete with examples of his innate kindness and empathy towards others, a trait that would become a hallmark of his character as he grew older. One anecdote that stands out from this period is the account of Nicholas's remarkable selflessness during a time of severe famine in Lycia. According to tradition, Nicholas, still just a child, would often secretly take food from his family's table and distribute it among the needy, embodying the very essence of Christian charity. This early demonstration of altruism not only reflects the strong moral foundation laid by his parents, but also foreshadows the countless acts of kindness that would define his life's work. As Nicholas grew in wisdom and faith, he became increasingly drawn to the life of devotion and service, inspired by the examples of his parents and the martyrs who had suffered for their faith. His education, both secular and theological, was rigorous, preparing him for a life that would intertwine spiritual leadership with practical acts of mercy. He spent hours poring over the scriptures, studying the lives of the prophets, and learning from the wise men of the church. His curiosity and thirst for knowledge were insatiable, driving him to seek out the wisdom of the ages. The historical context of Nicholas's early years was also marked by the persecutions of Christians under the Roman Emperor Diocletian, which began around 33 AD. Although these tumultuous events did not directly impact Nicholas during his childhood, they created an atmosphere of tension and uncertainty for Christian families like his, fostering a sense of community and shared purpose among believers. The memories of martyrs who had suffered for their faith, such as Saint Sebastian and Saint Agnes, were still fresh in the minds of Christians, serving as a reminder of the sacrifices that had been made for the sake of the gospel. As Nicholas navigated his adolescence, he began to discern his calling, a sense of purpose that would guide him towards becoming one of the most beloved saints in Christian tradition. He felt an insatiable desire to serve others, to comfort the afflicted, and to bring hope to those who had lost their way. This sense of vocation was nurtured by his family, his education, and the broader cultural and religious currents of his time. It was during this period that Nicholas began to realize that his life's work would not be limited to the confines of his family's wealth or social status, but would instead be defined by his unwavering commitment to the values of love, kindness, and generosity. As Nicholas's sense of purpose deepened, he became increasingly drawn to a life of devotion and service, like a beacon of light illuminating the path ahead. The city of Myra, with its vibrant tapestry of cultures and faiths, became his spiritual home, where he would eventually serve as bishop. It was during this period that his reputation for generosity, kindness, and unwavering commitment to justice began to spread far and wide like ripples on a pond, touching the lives of countless individuals. According to tradition, the father of these girls, a once wealthy merchant named Theophanes, had fallen on hard times, his fortune dwindling like sand between his fingers. Fearing that they would be forced into prostitution or servitude, Nicholas, under the cover of night, threw bags of gold coins into the family's home, saving them from a life of desperation. This act of selfless charity not only reflected Nicholas's profound empathy, but also set a precedent for his future endeavors as a champion of the poor and the oppressed. It is said that Theophanes, overcome with gratitude, sought out Nicholas to thank him in person, but the humble priest refused to accept any recognition, saying only, "I have done nothing but what the Lord has commanded us to do." This exchange highlights the depth of Nicholas's humility and his commitment to serving others without expectation of reward or recognition. As Nicholas's reputation grew, so did his influence within the early Christian community. His ascension to the bishopric of Myra further solidified his position as a leader, where he continued to advocate for the marginalized and defend the faith against heresy. The year 325 AD marked a significant milestone in Nicholas's life as he attended the Council of Nicaea, convened by Emperor Constantine to address the Arian controversy. Although the details of his role at the council are not extensively documented, his presence alongside other notable figures of the early church, such as Athanasius and Eusebius, underscores his growing influence and respect within the ecclesiastical hierarchy. The Council of Nicaea was a pivotal moment in the history of Christianity, as it brought together bishops from across the empire to debate and settle the nature of Christ's divinity. Nicholas's participation in this gathering demonstrates his commitment to upholding the principles of orthodoxy and his willingness to engage with the intellectual and theological currents of his time. His presence at Nicaea also highlights the intersection of faith and politics as the early church navigated its relationship with the Roman Empire. Nicholas's unwavering dedication to the principles of Christianity also led him to confront the injustices perpetrated by the Roman authorities, particularly during the reign of Emperor Diocletian. His courageous stance in defense of Christians who were being persecuted earned him a reputation as a steadfast protector of the faith. It is said that he even intervened on behalf of 3 Roman officers who had been wrongly accused and sentenced to death, successfully securing their release through his prayers and intercessions. The breadth of Nicholas's impact extends beyond his immediate community, as stories of his benevolence and miracles began to spread throughout the Mediterranean world. Sailors and travelers, who often sought his blessing before embarking on perilous journeys, carried tales of his kindness and divine interventions to distant lands. This widespread veneration was not solely due to his role as a religious leader, but also stemmed from his genuine concern for the welfare of all people, regardless of their social station or geographical origin. One of the most enduring testaments to Nicholas's legacy is the myriad of churches and shrines dedicated in his honor across Europe and Asia. The translation of his relics to Bari, Italy, in 1087 AD further cemented his status as a universally revered figure, attracting pilgrims from every corner of Christendom. As the centuries passed, the legend of Saint Nicholas continued to evolve, incorporating elements of local folklore and myth, yet remaining rooted in the historical figure whose extraordinary life of service and compassion had inspired such devotion. In the midst of these developments, Nicholas remained steadfast in his commitment to the principles that had guided him from his earliest days: love, kindness, and generosity. His was a life that eloquently testified to the transformative power of faith, not merely as a philosophical construct, but as a living, breathing force capable of reshaping the world. As he once said, "The giver of gifts is the one who loves," encapsulating the essence of his ministry and the enduring impact it would have on generations to come. Through his unwavering commitment to these ideals, Nicholas left an indelible mark on the history of Christianity, forging a path that countless others would follow in their pursuit of serving humanity. His influence extended beyond the confines of religious institutions, permeating the fabric of society and inspiring countless acts of charity, kindness, and generosity. As his legacy continued to unfold, it became increasingly evident that the spirit of St. Nicholas would remain an enduring force for good, a beacon of hope in times of darkness, and a powerful reminder of the transformative power of love and compassion. As the years passed, St. Nicholas's reputation continued to grow, and his influence extended far beyond the borders of Myra, like ripples on a serene lake. His name became synonymous with compassion, kindness, and generosity, inspiring countless individuals to follow in his footsteps. He remained a tireless advocate for the poor, the oppressed, and the marginalized, using his platform to speak out against injustice and to promote empathy and understanding. The streets of Myra would often resound with the sound of his voice as he preached sermons that stirred the hearts of his listeners and reminded them of their duty to care for one another. His later works included the establishment of several churches and monasteries, where he oversaw the education and training of countless young clergy. These institutions became beacons of hope and learning, attracting scholars and seekers from across the Mediterranean. St. Nicholas took a personal interest in the development of each student, instilling in them the values of kindness, humility, and service. He would often share stories of his own experiences, of the struggles he faced and the lessons he learned, to illustrate the importance of living a life of purpose and meaning. One of the most notable events of his later life was his attendance at the Council of Nicaea, where he played a key role in shaping the theological debates of the early church. The council, convened by Emperor Constantine in 325 AD, brought together some of the most prominent bishops and theologians of the time to address the pressing issues of doctrine and dogma. St. Nicholas's unwavering commitment to orthodoxy and his unshakable faith in the divinity of Christ earned him the respect and admiration of his peers. His contributions to the council's deliberations helped to shape the course of Christian doctrine for centuries to come, leaving an indelible mark on the development of the Church. As he grew older, St. Nicholas's physical health began to decline, but his spirit remained unbroken. He continued to preach, teach, and minister to his flock, even as his body weakened. His final years were marked by a series of visions and prophetic dreams, in which he was given glimpses of the future and the ultimate triumph of Christianity. These mystical experiences only strengthened his resolve, filling him with an unshakable confidence in the righteousness of his cause. According to tradition, St. Nicholas died on December 6, 343 AD, surrounded by his friends, family, and followers. The news of his passing sent shockwaves throughout the land, as people from all walks of life mourned the loss of a beloved leader and a guiding light. His funeral was attended by countless mourners, who came from far and wide to pay their respects to the bishop who had touched their lives in so many ways. As his body was laid to rest, a miraculous oil is said to have flowed from his tomb, which was believed to possess healing properties and was sought after by pilgrims from across the Mediterranean. His legacy extends far beyond the confines of the Church, inspiring countless acts of kindness, charity, and philanthropy around the world. As he once said, "The true gift of Christmas is not gold or silver, but the gift of love, which comes from the heart." These words capture the essence of his spirit, reminding us that the true meaning of our lives is found in the service we render to others. His story has been passed down through the generations, a reminder of the transformative power of selflessness and devotion. He was a man of remarkable character, whose unwavering commitment to his principles inspired countless generations. His story reminds us that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope, always a chance for redemption and forgiveness. His life serves as a beacon of hope, inspiring us to become better versions of ourselves and to make a positive difference in the world. And so, we bid farewell to St. Nicholas, but not before carrying his spirit with us as we strive to make our own mark on the world and to leave it a better place than we found it. That's all for today's biography with Plutarch. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, remember that understanding the lives of remarkable individuals helps us better understand ourselves.